This is in fact part 3 of a 5 or 6 part series that I made. The filming was originally done in October of 2018. And here we are on one of the dirt roads on Easter Island. I think only the main highway is actually paved, but it's maintained in pretty good condition. And today, or at this point in the video, what we're going to explore are the large red scoria stones that were used to place on top of the moai figures. So this is the quarry of Puna Pao. So in the background you can see some of the semi-finished stones. Again, they've represented to some people a hat of some kind, but it's more likely that they were top knots because Polynesian people to this very day, especially women, but some men, wear their hair up as a top knot in order to keep their necks cool, because after all, this is the tropics. So again, these are some of them in different stages of completion. And this is the main quarry where you find this red scoria stone, which of course is volcanic because the entire island is volcanic. There is a glimpse at the coastal area and the little town of Hangaroa, which is the only town on the island of any size. Easter Island is 7 miles by 5 miles by 10 miles in size and is located more than 2,000 miles from the coast of Chile. So here you can see the color of the red soil. And now we're looking down into the quarry itself. Once again, you can see some in different stages of finish. They would be roughed out and then rolled up to the top, and then rolled down to where the moai was that was going to wear this interesting top knot adornment. Rapa Nui, or Easter Island, is a phenomenal place to visit, and it's not that expensive to fly from Santiago de Chile, and well worth a trip lasting, I would guess or estimate, 5 to 6 days. You can see basically everything. And so we're driving to another location now, and this is Ahu Akivi. And this is where we have 7 of the full moai figures. These are the only 7 out of something like 950 that face the ocean. All the other ones face inland, and in fact the heads are cocked slightly backwards so that they're facing the sky, which is quite curious, and of course that's a great subject for ancient alien or ancient astronaut enthusiasts. Our local guide Alejandro said that they were looking up to their home star system, which is intriguing if you believe that the ancestors of people came from another planet. So once again, these are the 7 navigators. Supposedly they were sent by Hotumatua, who was the original chief of Easter Island, and it's quite probable that the Polynesian people originally came from Tahiti approximately 1,000 years ago. But the question is, since the island is so tiny, how could you even find it in the first place? The oral tradition story says that it was a major person in the Tahitian nobility who had a dream about this little island, and through that dream he was able to assist in navigating from Tahiti to Easter Island. Now notice the quality of the stonework at the very bottom. Much of the content of these videos, except this one, discusses the concept that there were 2 different civilizations that lived on Easter Island. The Polynesians, who arrived approximately 1,000 years ago, as I said, and then a more technologically sophisticated civilization that came before that. The question is, from where? Some theories are that they in fact came from ancient India, from the Indus Valley civilization, but again, How they would ever have found this little tiny island is one of its greatest mysteries, and not very often discussed by academics, because that's a very inconvenient question to ask, as are questions about who built the giant megalithic sites in Peru, Bolivia, Egypt, etc. They tend to dodge these questions rather than face them. So now, in the main part of the video, we're going to be exploring lava tube systems, of which there are extensive ones, some larger than others. This could be the largest of all of them. You can see that banana plants have been placed in sunlight, surrounded by stone, so that means that they would grow very well in this area. Very clever job by the ancient Rapa Nui people. And now we're going to explore into this lava tube system. I believe we walked more than 1.5 kilometers, or about 1 mile, underground. Now, the story goes from our guide Alejandro that the reason why these lava tubes were inhabited was that at one time, or possibly at many times in the history of the island, there was famine as the result of extensive climate change. This could have been the result of major fluctuations in the El Nino system just off the coast, western coast of South America. And so these would be places of refuge during wartime when people were fighting over very scarce resources. I had been to Rapa Nui twice before and explored a much smaller cave system, but you can see how extensive this one is. This again is our group who went there with Hidden Inca Tours in October of 2018. And here again, an open area where taro is growing, and sugarcane, I believe, as well. So these people, when they were in refuge, actually had gardens that would sustain them, and there's a lot of underground water on Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, because it's in the tropics. It tends to rain a fair bit, especially in June, July, and August. Fortunately, we were there in October, so we had some overcast days, but it wasn't really all that bad. So here's a wall that was built by the ancient people. And now we're going to go even deeper into this system. Again, a natural lava tube created during the formation of this part of the island. Rapa Nui has quite an extensive history with different times of volcanic activity. I believe there are 3 major craters on the island that make up the whole system. And so we're going deeper and deeper into the darkness. And there again, you can see an open area where plants were growing. But this is the darker part that leads to an opening at the very end. Here again is another opening where a small garden is. And there's Alejandro on the left-hand side. He is by far, in my estimation, the best guide on Rapa Nui. So if you want to know how to contact him, you can contact me through my website, hiddenincatours.com. We are planning probably to go back to Rapa Nui in 2 years, so in 2020, and so I'll have that listed on my website if you want to join us. There right in front of us is Gustavo, who's our Bolivian tour coordinator. And this is the darkest part of the tunnel that we are exploring now. The population of Rapa Nui is about 6,000 to 7,000 people. Half of them are native people from the island, and the other half are Chileans. And about 75% of the island is the national park. So this, of course, is part of the national park, as are all of the other ancient locations, temples, more than 300 of the moai stone figures, which are full bodies, not just heads, are located in the quarry area, and that will be in another video. Again, this will be between, it'll be either 5 or 6 part series, and then I'm going to upload the whole thing, which will be about a 1-hour documentary, onto Amazon Prime Video, where you can either rent it or purchase it if you want to. So here we are at the very end, and climbing our way back out through the thickets and different tropical plants. This is me finally climbing out from underground and being greeted by our tour group. And then here comes Antonio from Australia, probably the largest member of our group in this case. I think he's 6'4", and he's having a little bit of trouble trying to get back out of the cave system, but success. Also, in a future video in this series, we'll be visiting Anakena Beach, which is the only sandy beach on the island, and there we will visit an ahu, which you can see in the background. So these are related books and videos at Amazon.com. Easter Island, A Guide for Inquisitive Minds, a book I wrote, of course. And then a 1-hour video I did a couple of years ago, The Lost History of Easter Island, which is at Amazon Prime. And my upcoming book, Easter Island, The Secret Knowledge, which will be available in December of 2018.